The morning sun rose over the palace courtyard, painting golden light on the king's throne room. It was a day of reckoning, a day when the king decided to settle accounts with all his servants. One by one, they came trembling before him. Then came a man whose debt was greater than any other, so great that even if he worked all his life, he could never repay it. His heart pounded as guards brought him forward. The amount he owed was so large that it could feed a nation. The king's eyes were stern as he said, "You owe a great debt. Since you cannot pay, everything you own will be sold. Your house, your belongings, even your family will be taken." The man fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. His voice shook as he pleaded, "Please, my lord, have mercy. Give me more time, and I will repay everything." The king looked at the man for a long moment. His heart softened as he saw the desperation in the servant's eyes. With a deep sigh, the king waved his hand and said, "Your debt is forgiven. You are free." The servant froze, unable to believe what he had heard. "Forgiven?" he whispered. "Yes," the king replied gently. "You owe me nothing." The man's eyes filled with tears of joy. He bowed low, trembling with gratitude. As he left the palace, the burden that once crushed his heart was gone. He could finally breathe again. But as he walked through the city gates, a dark thought began to rise in his heart. Later that same day, the servant saw another man walking down the street, someone who owed him a small amount of money. Compared to the massive debt he had just been forgiven, it was almost nothing. But anger flared in his eyes. He rushed toward the man, grabbed him by the neck, and shouted, "Pay me what you owe." The other man's face turned pale. "Please, give me time," he begged. "I will repay you soon, I promise." But the first servant's heart was cold. "No," he snapped. "You will pay me now, or you will go to prison." He called for the guards and had the man thrown into jail until the debt could be repaid. The people who saw this were shocked. "How could he do this?" they whispered. "He was just forgiven of a huge debt, yet he shows no mercy to another." Soon, the news reached the king. His face grew dark with anger, and he ordered the servant to be brought before him again. The servant entered the palace once more, trembling. This time, there was no joy in his heart, only fear. The king rose from his throne and said in a thunderous voice, "You wicked servant! I forgave all your debt because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have shown the same mercy to your fellow servant?" The man fell to his knees, weeping. "Please, my lord, forgive me again," he cried. But the king turned away, his voice filled with sorrow. "You received mercy but refused to give it. Now, you must face the consequences." He ordered the guards to take the servant away and keep him imprisoned until he paid back every coin, a debt he could never repay. As the doors closed behind him, the man's cries echoed through the halls, a painful reminder of how quickly mercy can be forgotten. And then, silence. The story of the unforgiving servant teaches us one of the most powerful lessons in life, the importance of forgiveness. It reminds us that just as God shows us mercy when we fail, we too must be ready to forgive those who hurt or wrong us. The servant was forgiven a great debt, yet he refused to forgive someone who owed him so little. That choice revealed how easily we can forget the grace we've received when pride and anger take over. In our own lives, it's easy to hold on to grudges. We might feel that someone doesn't deserve forgiveness, or we wait for an apology that never comes. But forgiveness isn't about approving what was done. It's about freeing ourselves from bitterness and choosing peace over pain. When we forgive, we become lighter, freer, and more like the loving heart of God. So, take a moment to think, is there someone you need to forgive today? It might not be easy, but it's a step toward healing, peace, and spiritual growth. Remember, forgiveness is not weakness, it's strength guided by love and grace. Moral lessons. Forgiveness is a gift we receive, and one we must also give. Mercy loses its meaning if we keep it only for ourselves. A heart that refuses to forgive is a heart that forgets grace. God forgives us not because we deserve it, but because He is merciful. When we show mercy, we reflect the heart of God to the world. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more inspiring Bible stories and moral lessons that help us grow in faith and kindness every day.